these very titles that the case of Greg Fleniken's murder is known, with his lifeless body discovered in a hotel. An ordinary worker, a family man with no enemies or debts. Who would want this strange death? Greg Fleniken, a successful Texas oilman, was found dead in his hotel room at the Elegante Hotel. That evening, September 15, 2010, Greg had written to his wife that he was lying in the hotel and watching Iron Man on TV. A couple of hours later, he stopped responding to his wife's texts. Initially, the police believed it was a natural death. There were no signs of a break-in struggle or obvious wounds. Soon after, the police arrived at the hotel led by Detective Scott Appel, but they found no signs of violent death, and all of Greg Fleniken's valuables were intact. The neighboring guests didn't hear anything suspicious. Greg's wife, Susan, mentioned that he avoided doctors and suffered from a severe cough, which led Appel to suspect a heart attack. However, the autopsy revealed serious internal injuries. It appeared as though Greg had been struck internally against the floor. The detectives suspected everyone, including electricians living in adjacent rooms, but couldn't find any leads. Greg's body was cremated. The police were at a dead end, and Greg's family hired an experienced private detective named Ken Brennan. Brennan, a former New York police officer skilled in solving complex cases, began by thoroughly examining the evidence and reinvestigating the crime scene. He scrutinized room 348 and the neighboring rooms and discovered a small hole in the wall that had been meticulously patched with toothpaste. The hole resembled a bullet hole. Brennan discussed his findings with forensic expert Dr. Brown, who had not detected any gunshot wounds during the autopsy. However, upon reviewing the internal organ images, Brennan realized that a bullet had entered the body and was moving inside. It seemed as though Greg's body had been completely torn apart, internally. The main question remained, how did the bullet penetrate Greg's body? Clearly, the answer needed to be sought among the plumbers who were staying in the adjacent room on the evening of Greg's death. Brennan contacted the police and Detective Scott Appel to explain his theories. Following Brennan's insights, the police focused on Tim Steinmetz and Lindsay Muller, who were living in the neighboring room with friends. Steinmetz was about to leave after the interrogation. Brennan warned him that he would face trouble for providing false statements. Steinmetz confessed that on September 15th, they and their colleagues had been drinking in the room, and Lindsay Muller, while playing with a gun, accidentally fired through the wall, killing Fleniken. Steinmetz and Muller had no idea that someone in the adjacent room was watching TV directly in the bullet's trajectory behind the wall. It was a ridiculous accident caused by careless behavior and negligent handling of the firearm. This case highlighted the dangers of irresponsible handling of firearms and the devastating consequences of such actions. Greg's family, though finding some solace in this resolution, was forced to mourn the loss of their beloved husband and father.